Another week of the North American Challenger League. I am Reed Rapid Melton. That's Daniel Egad Caruso. And together we're going to be bringing you guys 5 more games of NACL. Starting off with, I guess, a game that's is sort of a legend around here. Is one of the first sort of changes, sort of shifts in power that we really saw in NACL. And it's Team 8 taking on Cloud9 HyperX Tempest. Now, C9T looking incredibly strong going into not only this season of NACL, but also, I mean, keep in mind they had to qualify through the qualifying bracket. I don't think they dropped a game.
No.
So they made it all the way to the end, and they're just like, hey, we're here, ready to take on whoever wants to challenge us. Well, the challenging team tonight, like I mentioned earlier, is Team 8. And as we get into the lobby into spectator picks and bans, you can see Team 8's a lineup that I guess it feels a little bit weird to people because it doesn't have Chew8.
Nope.
It doesn't have their former top laner, Richie Rich. And it has this guy named California Trolls, which, unless you really follow High Elo Solo Queue, you don't really know about. And then they come into this season of NACL, and they beat C9T 2 times in a row. And so now it's that rematch.
Oh, boy.
So
can they go for the 3-0, the dream?
C9T definitely looking for some revenge because they were looking to come into the season extremely strong. Team 8 shut them down. So into champion picks and bans, you can see Pantheon, Elise, and Oriana, but no bans targeted at California Trolls.
And he's got Nidalee, he's got Malphite,
he's got
Vladimir. Maybe he'll whip out a Rumble or something crazy. Like, we'll just see all the unconventional, or the, not unconventional, but kind of just filtered out top laners. But it's going to be Yasuo, Kassadin, and Lulu, the final ban away from Cloud9.
Right.
But Thresh was left open there for Glebe Glarbus, so I'm pretty sure they'll snag that up. It doesn't really give away too much, and it's a pretty safe pick for their team.
Yeah, no questions really asked about that. Thresh is sort of the uncontested playmaker. This guy's a chance to see a lot of LCS features on just how great that champion is. So you know all the pros' thoughts, and you know that he's actually pretty ridiculous. But all 3 bans here targeted at Bishu. I mean, maybe you can ban that Lulu away from like Glebe Glarbu, but at the same time, they just all work very well.
If they were truly targeted at him, Nidalee wouldn't be there, Gragas wouldn't be there. But Kassadin is like that always blue side ban.
And that's a good point. Nowadays, there's just so many mid laners that you can play that have such a huge impact on the game. Mid lane is really that playmaking role. Top lane, you build tanky. Bottom lane,
you hope you don't get ganked enough where you lose.
Exactly, you just farm all game long. Jungle runs around and tries to keep everybody from dying, and then you got mid lane that does all the damages, all the cool stuff.
There
and there it is. And that's actually something really cool. We were talking about how popular Thresh is, big playmaker, but when you're first pick and you take that champion away, you give 2 over to your opponents, and this time it's California Trolls getting that Nidalee, and more importantly, taking it away from Bishu.
All right, so we're going to see possibly a 15-minute Trinity Force out of him, something crazy. Felkaz being covered over. I would love to see him play it already, but people messing around with him in support. It's pretty fun. I might dabble with that a little bit later.
Oh my gosh.
But we're going to see Lee Sin for Guest 8 in the jungle, as that is something you saw the Auto Orange play really well in Complexity Black when he was subbing in for them for a little while, and we'll see if Guest 8 can follow his image. And we saw like level 3 turret dives. We saw some crazy things going on with that.
Want to talk about that. It was so crazy. But we're setting up for what should be a pretty crazy game here because I'm pretty sure C9T are willing to go that extra mile. Sometimes you come in here and you're like, hey, we play a really rough matchup later on in the week. We don't give away our strategies, so you maybe don't bust out anything new. But coming into this match, this is a matchup that both teams know very, very well, but maybe Team 8 just knows a little bit better.
All right, so it's going to be Vi Renekton for this out of Cloud9 Tempest, and we saw California Trolls just, I'm going to put it bluntly, just trample all over Yazuki's Renekton.
In Game 2 that these guys played against each other, it was actually C9 Lomo Nation, that's Yazuki, who banned out, I think, 2 out of 3.
And then Vladimir got picked up.
Exactly.
Like,
he bans out Nidalee and Malphite, and then California Trolls just like subsun Vladimir, and then just dumpsters his lane. Okay, well, it wasn't quite that bad, but it was still a great pick that worked out very well. And so California Trolls on one of his main champions, that AD Bruiser Nidalee, saves this mid lane pick for last. I'll have to see what Slushy picks up, because Slushy, he's coming off an AD carry role prior to joining Team 8. And he switches it up to mid lane, and they actually had from Maple Street as their mid laner for a while, and then switched that up because he's a little bit more versatile. But with Maple just on point on AD carry, and especially playing Lucian, it's looking really good for Team 8.
He's probably might have the best stats out of all the Lucians that we've seen. Well, next to like Altec, who is just a farming god when he plays that champion. So we're going to see him play Sivir against the matchup, and we're going to see LeBlanc mid for Bishu. So it's going to be very fun to see those picks. And it looks like they were saving their mid pick for Slushie there as against LeBlanc. We could see
Ooh.
Ziggs. We could see Gragas. Gragas looks like the more stable pick.
Yeah, and it's something that Slushie's been totally willing to play before. Now, I don't know, what else do you really pick right here? You've got your Gragas open. You can, like, surprise pick the Nidalee and then go for a Malphite last pick.
Oh, wait.
Oh, and
Nidalee
it's a
could go mid.
Vladimir.
Okay, cool.
So I love that mind game when you have a top lane AD Nidalee player.
Yeah,
because
mid Vlad.
nobody else really has that. When you talk about the challenger scene, like trying to think of, like, last year we had maybe Voyboy when he roll swapped a couple times with Quas.
He got the
Nidalee top.
pentakill, Vlad.
That is true. So I'm looking for maybe a Vlad mid lane switch at the last second just to throw things off, but a little bit of versatility from Team 8 that you don't get from a lot of other teams.
Yeah, and there it is. It's going to be the Nidalee mid, and taking that against, LeBlanc has a bit of a rough time when it does get to that level 6 stage, but she can heal up, she can play very defensive and just max that roar. Not the roar, the E.
Right.
Excuse me. The Primal Surge, there it is.
But
it's like Primal Roar. What is that?
We also have the more important thing to notice is the cuddling bottom lane, Lucy and Annie. She's got that big bear that she just cuddles, and then Lucian, a big fan of cuddling himself. So I guess we have that in common. But it's nice to have the duo lane matchups. I don't really feel like will be too impactful until we get to those big team fights. But I don't know. I'm just really excited to see sort of the grudge match. I think teams play each other 4 times over the course of the season, so it'll be nice to see, Game 3, really sort of the tipping point between these guys. We have 2 games in this matchup in favor of Team 8, and we'll see if they can close it down and bring it to a game number 3 here against the Cloud9 HyperX Tempest. But with that, we're going to head into a quick commercial break, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with C9T versus Team 8. But before we head anywhere, I want to give a shout out to our sponsors. You can see them right down below the screen. First and foremost is Loot Crate. You can check them out by clicking on the Loot Crate down below for all the ways you can get a Loot Crate sent to your house. It's a crate of loot that for $13.37 a month can be yours, filled with all kinds of cool Geek Gamer swag and goodies and all kinds of stuff that you can check out by visiting lootcrate.com. You can also see the little bird Jesus down there, and I don't know if they have one of those in Crystal yet, but I think they actually
could
did,
try.
So one day he'll grow up. But you can click it right down below to head over to phoenixcollection.com, where you can find some of the most finest crafted. They're so good they defy even grammar. Some of the most impeccably crafted. I knew I was looking for that word. Impeccably crafted gaming peripherals, mice, keyboards, mouse pads, and headsets. Just came out with a new one of those, so head over to phoenixcollection.com and check them out.
And last but not least, you can check out Low Class. Also, you can click that link down below, a nice little box where you get yourself put into a nice small 100-person classroom on a stream, and you get to chat with your favorite pro on their champion of choice that they're going to select for you, and it's in your favorite role, so you get to enjoy and learn all that you can. They'll tell you the nice little intricate things that you probably never knew about the champion matchups and builds. So check out Low Class, and we're going to go to a quick break. When we come back, we'll be having the first game of tonight. It's going to be Cloud9 Tempest taking on Team 8.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Season 2 of the North American Challenger League. It's good to have you guys with us. And back for kind of one of the hallmarks of NACL this season. It's Cloud9 HyperX Tempest, your team in the blue on the left-hand side of your screen, taking on Team 8 in the red on the right.
All right, and we're going to be loading out onto the Rift. If you didn't know, that was Rapid. I'm Egad, and we're going to be taking you through this nice little stroll as Annie charges up her stun. She did start that Incinerate. And, yeah, I don't think we're going to see anything crazy. You know, they're actually nerfing Trinket wards on PvE. They should change to 1 minute and 55 seconds where you can drop wards. So maybe that'll hint at a shift in the aggression.
They just don't want any level 1 aggro going on. It's
no,
like,
they want that might actually happen now. There might actually,
you can't.
They're changing it to 1 minute 55 instead of 1 minute 30 for the Trinket wards. So later wards mean that you could possibly set up for some kind of sneaky invade now.
I don't know. I'm not all about that face checking.
I'm all about that level 1. I love it.
Especially in Hexakill, it was so cool to go for engages or early invades because everybody just died. But this is only 5v5, and rest in peace, Hexakill 2014 to 2014. Pretty sure out of like the 100 games I played of that map,
oh god,
I only won like 1.
That's 99 losses, and Rapid does not care.
Yeah, but this game is not one of those. We're gonna get into a little bit of a different game. I was just venting my frustration with that mode. Maybe we'll see it come back a little bit more, but kind of hard mode here in the middle lane for Bishu, getting hit by the first spear. Now, California Trolls switched up to that Vladimir at the very end because Vlad versus Renekton. Oh, is he gonna pull a Crumbs here? He's gonna walk right into Izuki, but no collapse there.
Right. Yeah, because we did have Kez move out of that brush. He got
spotted out. Trinket ward.
Spotted out there.
Bishu has to walk the long way around a lane, so you can see what the Slushie just did right there, maybe unintentionally, as he pulled a couple of minions further into the wave. That's something that I see a lot of top laners do, because it actually gets the wave pushing a little bit earlier on. You can't really creep block in League of Legends. It's the creeps that block you. But it's one way to maybe put the lane out of balance, and of course those auto attacks will be doing the same thing.
Oh, geez, Ignite's going to get traded back in. No, just one Ignite from Bishu, so he's going to try to pressure out that Nidalee. He is all too familiar with the matchup, so goes for the early Ignite and the harass.
Yeah, but early Ignite versus Nidalee is not really what you want to see because she's just going to sustain through that.
Yeah, but you're not going to really get too much aggression early on. I don't know if Kez is going to be looping around. We could see that come through. And without the Ignite, they won't have too much kill potential because it is barrier on Slushie's Nidalee mid. He's going to keep on going for the autos. He's going to be forced to use both of his potions, though. So Bishu going to be able to have that sustained advantage with those potions in his inventory. As up top, California Troll is going to always be shoved in. Renekton should never let him get some space. Distortion comes through. Autos. Signal of Silence got popped out there. But there's the Primal Surge, and he'll heal most of that. And a nice shield from Altec stops the Resonating Strike.
Yeah, and Slushie's just burning potions right now. He's trying desperately to just sustain through that early level 2, level 3. And once you get rank 2 heal as Nidalee in mid lane, it's super fun to play against because your damage doesn't matter. And you can see you're just safely farming away with spears. And like you said, Bishu should keep Slushie underneath his turret for the majority of this lane phase. Just with the Distortion max, it makes it a lot easier to wave clear and push. And until Nidalee hits that level 6, just has to auto-attack those minions down.
Yeah, Nidalee's range is pretty good, as well as her poking. Lemon, oh my god, I keep calling her Lemonation, man. Just change your name back to Yuzuki. Or maybe he just wants to be Lomonation from forever known.
If I had to pick a nation to be a part of, it would definitely be the Lomo Nation. Until the Fire Nation attacks, and that's when things go wrong.
And then we have, who would the Avatar be? But actually, just a little bit of a trade back and forth. Just the burst damage all the time. We have Kebs looping around. Possibly going to run Fleece in there. There's a stun actually on an Altec down bot. He'll get poked out. But they'll just go back to being perfectly safe, and no first blood. Going to come out for a couple more minutes, I feel, unless I get completely wrong, and it's just the commentator's curse, and we regret everything. We're like, no, first blood in 2 seconds, oh god.
Well, actually, we've seen a couple of different ways to play League of Legends, one of them being the first time these guys played, and that was just all out, everyone killing everyone else. It was like a 35-minute game that had like 60 kills. It was ridiculous how many times people died that game. Second time, it was a remarkably passive game up until the 12-minute mark where everything kind of exploded. And I don't know, coming back in here, like I said, to Game 3, T9T still have yet to show us a victory here against Team 8. And, Maple Street, really kind of one of the big factors in the Team 8 victories. So for Altec and Gleef Glarbu to maybe have a little bit of a better laning phase and looking towards Kez to try to shut him down.
It's really interesting to see that they both started Doran shields, but we're going to see Lomo Nation get ganked up top here. Tempest Cripple comes through. Ooh, Sonic Wave does not connect, but he goes to the minion, gets the auto, and his summoners are safe up there.
Yeah, it's kind of rough to gank a Renekton, or at least to make him blow Summoner. Slice and Dice is a really good way to get out, especially if somebody puts their bodies there to just give you that extra little escape. So it's nice to see some extra pressure coming in from Kez, because he's not just giving up on that top lane. That's what LMQ do. LMQ are just like, gank top lane? What? And they just let Ackerman, rather, just sit up top and farm. And if he loses lane, great. If he doesn't lose his lane, great. Nobody really cares about that guy. But Ackerman doing actually really well. We'll get a chance to see LMQ twice later on, but for now, we got to watch.
Kez is up there. He's going to slice through. He's going to go underneath the pool, take a bunch of damage, be forced to flash away. Ghost comes out. California Trolls was looking to see if he can go back in under Ackerman there, but Kev's now Sonic Wave for his next strike. He's forced to flash away, so 2 flashes gone for California Trolls' summoners, and they're going to put some pressure on the turret while down bot. A big wave building up. I thought they were going to look for a dive in that top lane, but they backed off. There was a safe distance for C9 to get out of there.
Yeah, well, they were about to run out of minions, and Dodo's got his stun up, looking to go in, but no follow-up because he wasn't quite in range.
All right. I don't know why I called Yuzuki Ackerman for some reason, but it's okay. We'll see them later on. They get 2 games today, which is going to be pretty fun to see. And the push just continue down here. No blind hooks coming through. Not wasting that mana, keeping it safe. And Altec has a pretty significant farm lead at this point.
Yeah, Altec's doing really, really well down there, but that's primarily because he's just kept Maple Street and Dodo shoved in their lane. While I guess Lucian doesn't have too many problems, wave clearing, pushing the wave out there. It's really been the primary focus from Dodo and Maple on getting harassing, which isn't really last hitting. And so you can see maybe they have different focuses, but Altec's definitely winning that CS war, and gets a nice spell shield there for some more mana and consequently more wave clear. That should help keep that CS advantage alive.
Yeah, and
big CS advantage though to watch out is that mid lane. 51 CS as a LeBlanc versus only 30 for Slushy's middle.
Ooh, that's gonna be really rough. So this is the knowledge that Bishu has in that matchup. He's running away, bursting him out, forcing him to use all of his mana. California Trolls the pool up top. Doesn't get hit by the Call of the Week. Nice timing there. Elimination. And as long as you don't die in lane as Vladimir, you'll be able to be that really significant effect in the late game, because you do burst people out, you do have immense amount of sustain, and you can become a huge split pushing menace, but a little bit of pause comes in here. I'm not sure what it is. Maybe someone's lacking on either side. 1 sec comes in from Cloud9. There it is. Glebe Larby was having a little bit of lag.
All right, so while we get Glebe up back here and ready to go, I mean, we're only 7.5 minutes into the game, so there's not all that much to talk about, but wow, Glebe hears our prayers and immediately reconnects or fixes his lag issues. And so for the meantime, we got the game back underway. Hopefully it'll be good to go. And the thing that actually kind of scares me more is this top lane matchup. California Trolls is just cooling every single time it's off cooldown. And while I feel like you have to really manage your cooldowns, or I guess more importantly in his case, cooldowns. But for that top lane, at least this time around, Yuzuki's having a much better time. And that's a really good sign for C9T, because it was actually their bottom lane that got just destroyed level 1 in the first game that these guys played. Game 2 was much more even, but the top lane matchup lost super hard. So
California's going to go war, but he's not going to be able to spot out Kez, who's actually made his way all the way up to that front rush. And now level 6, though. Maybe they'll pick him off the wave.
Oh, no.
Stun connects through. Oh, we're going to see Bishu go in, dropping that, force the barrier out of Slushy underneath the turret. So that's going to be huge.
Oh, but he pooled. You can't pool when you want to stay at your turret, because otherwise they're just going to dive you. So if he had tried to just back off calmly to his turret, that would have been one thing. But the wave is not where C9T wanted to be. So at least for the time being, California Trolls is going to get a chance to come back to his turret, but with the jungle pressure top, this is just perfect shot calling from teammate.
They're diving up top. He does the Hemo play. He's going to have his pool up again. He's going to look for the transfuse, try to sustain up, and possibly kill Kez with him. He's going to be able to sustain through, and he will pick up the 1.
Gets it.
He looks for 2. No, it doesn't go on to Illumination, but he gets first blood, which is huge. That's a lot of extra gold, Dragon Gold, and in a 1v2 matchup, as Vladimir picking up a kill, that's huge. I wonder if he's going to go back and buy. He's already got his revolver, and that was phenomenally played. Kez didn't do enough damage. That transfusion was on point to make him live through that auto attack. So well played, California Trolls.
Yeah, and he actually could have gotten a little bit more damage onto Yuzuki. But, coming in bottom lane.
Nice shield and a lantern pull. Death Sentence in the box to try to disengage here. Flay, the kick is not enough. Oh, he needs one more. Is guessing gonna flash for it. He gets it with the Sonic Wave, and they get the stun onto Altec though. We do look for Tibbers to follow it up, but not gonna be able to. So nice job, teammate. Nice coordination and good gank from Guess.
Oh my goodness. Rest in peace, headphone users. We'll get the volume levels sorted out for that one. I got a little bit carried away. Wow. That's pretty cool. So it's nice to see some moves. Guess 8 not only having a great call for Dragon, picking that one out for his team. California Trolls gets not only a kill, but first blood in a dive. And you get kills in bottom lane too, off of a perfect snipe from Guess 8. And to be honest, that's Altec's bad. He should have blocked that either with Spell Shield or just with his body. Because otherwise, hey, Glebe would have lived. But apparently, Altec's been on that new diet that makes you extra able to avoid skill shots. And while I guess that's a good thing for an AD carry to have, certainly didn't help young Glebe out.
It did not help him out at all. And he did get his flash, so that's something that was pretty huge there. Next Timbers could be really key. And Boots of Lucidity were picked up for California Trolls, so looking for that 15% CDR to help him out. And going to be looking for more transfuses. He's already at that level 9 point where it is on that really short cooldown, about 3 seconds I think it is. Just keep spamming it out, keep sustaining, and even with a Negatron Cloak, it's going to slowly whittle away at Illumination. So that's going to be pretty key for his pushing. We do have Lee Sin kind of hanging around towards mid, getting spotted out with some good wards. Gonna be able to prevent that. Guess is up top though, slicing and dicing. Not able to get the stun. A good pull from California to get out of there. There's the Assault Battery to follow through. He's gonna pop the Ghost in response though and dash out. There's double distortion. He's gonna drop the Hema play, and it's not gonna be enough as he's actually forced 3 members up there. That's gonna give Slushy some time in mid lane to farm up, which is good, but you know that death up there never what you want.
And that's a really good timing from C9T to go for that gank. There's no dragon, so you're not going to lose that objective. But Guess 8's just like, hey guys, you got to come here. We got to take something off the back of that. So while they are down a kill in that overall trade, they're now back to even in kills and take that middle lane turret. And to be honest, if you had to pick a turret to take, mid lane much more valuable.
All right, and oh boy, with that turret, they do have only 100 gold lead. The kills. And just the kills are tied, the turrets are tied, the gold is pretty much tied. Nice big wave down there for Alpha to farm up. They're going to get a few autos on the turret. And soon, A's attack range is going to get nerfed too, which is pretty cool to see. I wonder, yeah, it's going to be going down from 625 to 575.
Whoa, 50 range off that? Man, that's the Kennen treatment. I don't know if anybody watching played back in, I think it was early Season 3, when Kennen had that additional 50 range on his auto attacks. That's what made him so good in top lane. And after he got that nerf, you really don't see him all that much anymore. Now, Guess is going to be forced to ward jump over the wall.
He's fine.
Safe and sound.
That ultimate was still up in top game, so he's okay. Death Sentence? They're going to force out the pursuit there. And Formidable should be just fine. Pink ward's going to get cleared out. And people are starting to actually realize where the pink wards are. They're kind of in the most obvious spots now, because everybody's like, oh, they're going to put one here, they're going to put one in this middle brush, and it's usually in the same spot, so people got to think outside the box now and put those in other places, and hopefully they'll live a little bit longer. But you're seeing Illumination now having a bit of a rough time against California, as he's just asserting that Vladimir presence and pushing now the Tides of Blood and the Transfuses. Bishu going to look for the Sigil. Silence, it does connect. He doesn't get the distortion, though, so a huge portion of that damage does end up disappearing.
All right, so we got to look to a couple of big things to happen right now. One, this is not a passive game. It's very active, like, hey, this is the play we're making. It's up to you to counter this out. And remarkably enough, Team 8 have been having enough counterplays to come out just a little bit ahead. Not any appreciable advantage just yet, but with Spears starting to land from Slushy and that middle lane turret down.
What? He face checks the brush with his pool. I don't really know why you would do that, because if there was someone actually waiting there, you wouldn't have the escape mechanism in the pool. But we're going to look to see, as an invade is coming in from Team 8, they're going to look to try to steal the blue buff, but as soon as they see 3, they need to back off. Safeguard pulls him towards Slushy, though. The Assault Battery chases through. He kicks away Illumination. Is he going to be able to connect the chain, though? He gets the Distortion, drops Ignite, and the Sigil. I don't know if that's enough to pick up the kill on Guess 8, though, while California Trolls now in the middle of 2. Hemo Plague was dropped. Can he pick up Kez? It looks like it will go over to Slushy, but he trades his life as California will fall. Flash stun comes in from Illumination. Will they be able to chase down the cat? He pops the barrier. He needs 2 more leaps actually to get out safely. Tempest cripple for the slow, and he will, looks like, be able to get away as everybody from the side of C9 does back off. And Bishu might not be done here. Spear. Ooh,
it does
connect.
Catch Bishu.
Is he going to go in, though? He doesn't have flash or barrier. Could be pretty risky. There's no ignite on Bishu. He has double distortion, if anything.
He hits the clone and kills that off. Actually really low on mana, so...
I think they still want to pressure this blue. He's chasing him out. I don't know what's going to go on with this fight.
Bishu's not going to get hit by that, so nothing to watch up top lane. Bottom lane, though, the more exciting lane matchup, because...
auto attacks or something.
Yeah, absolutely nothing's happening down there, so... It's a relatively even game so far. The big advantage, though, for Altec is that he did get that first the first Bloodthirster. So he's going to be able to stack up the Bloodthirster, and that just makes him even more difficult to deal with in lane. So until he can find a good time to go back to base, Maple Street will be getting further and further behind because he won't have those BT stacks coming out. But he's kept even in CS, and as far as net gold value is concerned, I believe he's actually worth more. Yeah, 200 gold more because they do have that dragon under the belt. So it's a game that slowly, ever so slowly, C9T are trying to come back into. It's all about this dragon.
Glaru gets the hook on a guess 8 as he uses mid Sonic Wave resing straight combo. And they might chase this out. Guess 8 is kind of low, but everybody is there. I don't know if they want to force this, but Cloud9 going to rotate to mid. They're going to try to get the mid tier 1. But either way, they will be backing off. Cullen comes out down bot. He'll clear out the wave just fine, as Altec is going to wait to meet him and do that. While we do have a little bit of poke coming in the California Trolls, he's going to transfuse and heal just fine. So they get out of there. And with a Dragon lead, Team 8, they're on that objective control game. That is normally what they end up doing. They always secure pretty much all the Dragons every game that we've seen them play so far. So they're looking very organized.
Yeah, and keep in mind that's against C9T, one of the best Dragon teams in NACL. So it's... Tibber is coming down there right onto Glebe, gets bursted out, but not enough damage. Now with Glebe forced to disengage, Altec is the one battling Franken Tibbers in the lane.
Oh, nice two-man stun comes in. He's going to be able to pick up Glebe over Altec. He flashes. He gets the fireball for the kill there. Now he's in the middle of a really bad spot. Altec will pick up that kill. So trading 1 for 1 as Kez does end up going from Maple Street. Has the assault and battery. Comes in, flash boomerang, but a flash from Maple Street. Can he get out? He's red buff and slowed, and Altec will throw the simple boomerang to pick up the double kill in that bot lane as Slushi actually takes down Bishu in mid. So 1v1 going out over there makes it a 1 for 2 globally, and we're going to actually see Guess 8 come in.
Sonic Wave not landing. I don't think it would have mattered if it had. But anytime you see this big 3-man roam from C9T, you have to wonder what the rest of Team 8 is doing. So for top lane, we've got California Trolls taking down that top lane turret. Hey, worth it. Trade turret for turret. The kills aren't really coming back, but they're still even because of the kill excess that Team 8 had previously. And with that nice 1v1 working out for Slushi in middle lane, it's going to be most of that middle turret damage being done. And safe and sound.
Oh
California Trolls, just no pressure.
He was left up top to just keep farming and pushing away, so I'm pretty sure he has quite a bit of money banked up. If anything, to pick up his Zonyas very quickly. And I'm wondering if he's going to actually finish off a Will of the Ancients, or if he's going to keep just the Revolver.
I think I'd expect him to go for a Zonyas right now. He does have that... the Amplifying Tome, so that may signal a Haunting Guise. That's something that California Trolls likes to do on a lot of his champions, except for Nidalee. Nidalee just buys the Trinity Force straight up, but for Vladimir and Malphite, he buys a ton of mid-tier items, and then upgrades them one by one very slowly. It's a little bit of a different style instead of just like going for those big item completions, but it's something that has been working out relatively well for him so far, and there's the needlessly large rod just picked up on his trip back to base.
God. Yeah, he had a ton of money there. We're going to see Slushi get poked out just a little bit, but he's got blue buff over Bishu, so he's going to be able to heal up just fine. Oh, Guess 8 going to get spotted out there, going to be forced to war jump over the wall. Dodo was there to back him up if anything crazy went down, so he's able to get out just fine. While Yuzuki up top, just pushing away. No turret for him to take, though, so he's going to shove up the wave while California Trolls will answer. And Sweeper's going to be actually 3 on both sides, so looking for a lot of war control and map control in that. So this is a fairly high amount of sweepers for this early, and roughly early. It's mid-game stage-ish of the field, the Summoner's Rift.
Yeah, it's about 18 minutes in, so with everything as even as it has been for so long, you can see that neither team is really able to claw themselves an advantage, but both teams are definitely trying to. You've seen rotations, trading turrets, and that's what gets scary about this game, because if like for any moment you're too complacent, if you get, and then Slushi going to get locked down. There's the burst flash away there, pounce through the brushes.
He's able to get out.
Oh my gosh.
That passive speed is just so annoying.
It's ridiculous, and he had that flash up perfectly timed, and you know, it's maybe kind of obvious, but you have to make sure you flash in the right direction. A lot of times, you'll just like flash straight backwards, and that may not be the best route to take. Flashes into the bush, gets that move speed buff, and is able to pounce his way back out of there. So with as much sort of focus on that mid lane matchup, look at Lomo Nation. Yeah, Yuzuki can't trade with California Lols right now. Buying the needlessly large rod is kind of like getting the extra spell vamp from Mora. but just because you have more damage.
And
but
the Tides of Blood stacking, too.
yeah, exactly. It just gives you so much more damage that amps up off of that. Oh, two chains landing on a Slushy in the mid lane, gets that Primal Surge heal off, and walks back away.
I'll take it kicked in the wall. Going to look for the stun in from the Annie, but as soon as Kevs and Glebe Glarber show up, they're going to back off as for Maple Street wasn't there.
Yeah, Maple Street kind of needs some damage back behind your ganks. And for Kez, he kind of needed his ult there, but didn't have that. And of course, teammate didn't have Maple Street. He's busy farming up that white.
All pool. No, it was Human Plague, and he's going to transfuse and Tides of Blood to kite this one out. When that does end up popping, it's going to do a ton of damage, and Ignite was dropped too.
Killed Yuzuki there.
No, it was pretty dangerous for him to follow that, especially with the ultimate going. If he didn't time his transfuse, if he didn't get the transfuse right,
that would have been a little bit rough.
Yeah. So Glebe Glarber hooking away, but that pink ward still ends up falling. So even trade up top. Either way, CS lead over to California though, and Yuzuki, even with that full damage build and 2 magic resist items, it's still really hard to trade it. Think about when California gets this penetration, it's going to be even worse.
Yeah, it's just going to be ridiculous. And now going back to base, it's California Trolls picking up that Zonya's Hourglass. This is his first big completed item. No other big ticket items being purchased out there other than, of course, the Bloodthirsters and actually a DFG down there for Bishu. So Bishu, though, 0, 1, and 2 has not been having a really standout performance, whereas his lane opponent Slushy not only winning out those 1v1s, but having overall more pressure out on the map, has just completed his Rabadon's Death Cap.
Those spears are going to be for a truck ton now, so look out Bishu and everybody else. But Glebe Glarber going to pressure forward, move up. Dragon's coming up in 4 seconds. So when that objective is up, we're seeing Cloud9 already assert their pressure. And as soon as it's there, are they going to look to start it? There's a 5-man roam coming in from Team 8, though. California and everybody else showing up.
Team 8 aren't giving
these
dragons away. Okay.
They're going to actually look to engage on this one. They pop the open.
Oh, the
Tibbers comes through, and the kick to disengage. Perfect fighting. The culling in the back line. Looking to see if he can pick up anybody as a nice safeguard comes in from Gesse to stay alive. Glebe Glarber so dangerously low. There's no ghost from California to chase this one down. But Nidalee, excellent at chasing people out. Looks like she's going to throw out a blind spear. Not going to connect with Kevs. That was really close, but either way, that's going to be a free dragon and a perfect timbers and kick from Lee Sin.
Dodo 8 just won that fight straight up. He's just like, what's that? There's a tiny little ramp here? It'd be a shame if every single member of your team just tried to walk through there at the same time. 4-man timbers into Incinerate. It was just... I don't even know what to say about that. Dodo 8's a god. So he secures the 3rd dragon in a row for Team 8 and just gives them not only the global objective, but also he pushed the entire team of Cloud9 HyperX Tempest back to base. So they're off the map, and that really gives all that pressure back to Team 8. California Troll is going to get huge waves of minions and CS up top lane, and he can go up top lane. He can disengage from the rest of the team because he doesn't have to worry about team fighting anymore.
All right, and now that Dodo 8 has established himself as that god of Annie, we're going to see what he wants to do next. Mobies were picked up there, looking to roam around a little bit more, and the tier 1 in the mid lane will finally end up falling. It's still even in turrets, but those 3 dragons for Team 8 are just putting them a little bit over the edge of that 2.9k gold lead. And we see Talisman of Ascension now for Dodo 8 on that Annie, so going to be able to initiate fights. But the idea for Cloud9 Tempest for that fight was almost perfect. They popped the Sivir ult with the chase down. Assault and Battery was on the perfect target. It's just they need to avoid getting 4-man again.
Yeah, that's always a good thing to avoid, you know. But one thing that they may also want to avoid is it actually looked like C9T were in a better position earlier to set up for that dragon. So you might see a few things starting to slip back in Cloud9 HyperX Tempest's favor. And while game number 1 between these two guys was actually fairly one-sided, game 2 looked a lot closer. Here in game 3, I mean, it doesn't get a whole lot more closer than that. Yeah, that's how close it is.
It's so close, closer sounds better.
It's true.
Closest?
I'm not even gonna. I feel like the longer I talk about that, the worse my grammar gets. And the struggle. Yeah, the worse my I talk more bad.
More Bizon?
Oh, esports director of NACL of Legend. Put that in there. Maple Street continues to farm down bottom lane. He's up to 220, but down 20 against Altec, who has been farming things up, but still with neither AD carry with a big Last Whisper, which is what you're going to look to chunk through these the jungle and top laners, both of whom are actually really tanky, and I wouldn't expect to say that about Vladimir, but he went for the armor first, and actually on the hunt there.
I thought he was going to kick him out of the lantern. That would be funny.
Exactly. Like when
you pull and there's boom, and you're like,
if you pull the lantern and you're traveling towards Thresh, you can actually get kicked out of that.
Yep.
And you'll fly in the opposite direction. It's like you aren't allowed to take that lantern, and then you just die and you get outplayed. But now Leaves looking to get it on to Guess 8, gets locked up.
Oh,
There's
Tibbers.
the Tibbers again. Bishu just getting I don't know, Tibbers blocked there. The culling to come out onto Glebe Barbu, not enough to do anything, but man, Guess 8 in a rough spot makes it out alive thanks to a little bit of help from his friends.
All right, now they're going to be forced to disengage and maybe get chased out here. Bishu dangerously low, Kev's a little bit low, and they're going to be forced to stop backing. Ward gets dropped out there, and they weren't caught shopping, so they'll be able to double distortion and hold breaker away. A little bit of poke comes in from Maple Street, but they'll be fine. Maybe not, actually. Sonic Wave,
Guess
not going to
missed
connect.
it. But they're just stalling
Yep.
C9T, trying to keep
The
him from
two-man
getting
push
back
mid.
to base. And that's on Bishu. He's been able to roam and pick up a few assists, but no kills coming his way, and just fire something in the brush. No, Kez makes it back to base, and now it's Kez and Bishu.
Spear.
There to defend,
Spear.
but not enough. Altec misses the spell shield, or mistimes the spell shield. I don't think Team 8 are going to get too much off of these pushes.
No, they got a lot of pressure mid. California and Sleuth Sheep were pushing up that lane. They're going to look to go back, possibly pick up blue buff, and then continue the siege. Nidalee with blue buff is that really annoying menace that you don't want to deal with. You just get spears, infinite heals, traps all over the place, and you're like, how do we get through this? And eventually, it's gonna force Cloud9 to
and
initiate.
California Trolls gets the blue buff steal away from Bishu. He watches it, and he's just holding his hands out. California Trolls, please. He just takes it away. No love there from Vladimir. He was able to transfuse that back into his favor, and when you look at the lanes right now, this is actually kind of interesting to notice, because in C9T's kind of famous win against LMQ, it was Bishu that hard carried that game as Yasuo, or Bishuo as he's more commonly referred to there.
Yasuo.
But this game, he's actually 0-1-2, doing the worst of all the solo lanes with 2-0 performances from both Yazuki and Altec. So definitely up to those side lanes to carry out LeBlanc, but
Double buff Vladimir. You can't trade against
he's
it.
just
He's
going to
gonna get
auto
slowed
attack,
up.
slow him down there.
Transfuse, he's going to pop Ghost, look to drop Ignite as well, chase him out. Is he going to drop the ultimate though is the question. He's going to save it. Looks like he's going to pull, but here comes Kez. The Assault and Battery comes through. Zanya's Hourglass going to save him up a little bit. He's going to try to get the heal off from Nidalee.
He does!
Oh, he does get it. He's going to kite around, transfuses as well. Tides of
healed
blood,
it.
and there is the pool. The sun comes in from the end.
Oh
Where did
my
you come
gosh.
from? Looks like she was frolicking through the woods and will be able to pick up an assist as well as Guess 8 picking up the kill. He's gonna back right there, but I think he thinks Yuzuki's still in that brush, but Yuzuki went back towards the golems. They're pinging towards him. They know where he is.
Yuzuki
And-
on the run. He's behind enemy lines. We'll have to see if he can get that recall off.
there's
Slushy's
Slushi.
going to find it, hits it with a spear, and goes into melee range against her neck. Bam. There you go.
Claws in the face.
All that because California Trolls he's got that Teemo Global taunt on right now. He's just like, hey, come at me, bros. Kez, Lomo Nation, a.k.a. Yuzuki, tried to make it happen. Got taken down. Looks like California Trolls, once again, get by with a little bit of help from his friend.
All right, here comes the fourth dragon of the game, going over to Team 8. It's like clockwork. It's like, all right, guys, dragon 1, 2, 3, and just keep on going.
Third dragon was a little bit close. C9T were in position, but that Tibbers stun from Dodo, man, that just looked good. So we're gonna have to see if any of these dragons are going to go the way of Team 8. Eventually, like, you can trade turrets for dragons every once in a while, but if you're consistently not getting that global objective, you're gonna fall farther and farther behind. It's 7,000 gold advantage so far, just off of almost nothing but dragons. They're up a turret too, and when you look at the lanes, they actually don't look too bad for C9T. It's just the objective control that Team 8 have in spades.
Oh man, that objective control is on point, and also nets them a rough 7,000 gold lead on their side of Team 8. The anti-spell was picked up there. Oh, that
my
spear almost
gosh.
killed Bishu. I wonder how it feels to be on the receiving end of a champion you main. Oh, Jesus. That. Oh.
Well, Bishu knows. That's like you just said. Like, he knows the Nidalee power, and able to kind of play Nidalee well means that you're able to get into your opponent's head and really just land those spears off of mind games. But really, I was really impressed there. Lomo Nation, aka Yuzuki, really able to start dueling out California Trolls. So I don't know what to expect from that top lane matchup, because it's really not the
Just
top
hiding.
lane 1v1.
Oh.
It's
Wait, what happened to him? What happened to his HP?
I think a spear landed. One spear.
Oh, this Sushi. I was like, okay. I was like, wait, where did that come from?
Yeah, it's just like all of a sudden he's almost dead. Now Bishu for the second time in a row.
Oh
Look at
my
these spears. That's that Void Staff power. Coming out 3 completed items, 3 kills, and more importantly, 0 deaths.
Aw.
Man, these spears are just stopping my heart.
It's like a carnival game, but with your life on the line.
And kind of the 2 main poke champions in mid lane are Nidalee and Ziggs. Ziggs has more consistent AoE, just because he can throw out those bombs all the time. But
he's trying to go for the revenge. The Mikhail's Crucible. The Timbers doesn't connect though. He flashes and distortions back. We're going to see Gesse in a rough spot though. There's this spear to counter out the damage, and a pause comes out. As that's a little bit of a rough time for it, but we'll find out what the cause is. Either way,
the cause of the pause.
The cause of the pause. You know who else pause? Nidalee.
That's true. It's been Nidalee all along. She has. Wonder if that means that they're like allowed 4 pauses per game, or 4 pause.
They have to have Nidalee on their team though.
Wait, what's the plural of pause? Pauses, right?
Pause I.
So what if you have like more than just 2 pause? Does that make them pauses? 1 pause, 2 pause, 3 pauses? I don't know.
I don't know.
The plurality of that's kind of getting to me.
Probably just pause. P-A-W-S. Easy. Peasy.
Pauses.
Lemon squeezy.
Japanesey and the breezy, extra greasy.
I don't know anything else.
There you go. Well, we'll have to. I'll work on a few more of those while we get the game unpaused. Looks like Dodo 8, or was it Slushy, was having a little bit of reconnection problems, so I'll have to get him back in the game. But yeah, we're 30 minutes in. The first pause was at like 7 minutes. We have a little bit more to talk about this time. But yeah, 30 minutes in, and while the game was even for pretty much the majority of like the pre-20 minute mark, after that point we saw 2 huge dragons that just really turned the game around here for Team 8. Dodo's coming up just absolutely massive, getting big 4-man Timbers stuns at Dragon. I think he saved out Guess there a couple times, but game's back underway, so we should be loading back in here in just a second. Maple Street not having a good game, and neither is Bishu. So, Kez gets the insect onto Kez, kicks him back in there.
But they're actually looking to go back in. He flighted Timbers as a pool to chase down Bishu as well. Going to burst them out. See if he can be able to kill. He can. Well, on the back line, though, Yuzuki is running amok. Takes up the kill on Gesse, but that's all he got, as that was a 3-for-1. And this turret going to take a bunch of damage. Well, California Trolls is not done yet. He's going to follow down. He's going to chase down Cleveland while we're going to pick up the kill. So a 4-for-1. We're going to see Slushy heal, and I'm going to guess it's like about a 700 heal when he does do it.
All right, let's actually get some data on that. If you want to check out Slushy 8, this guy is going to be using that Primal Surge to heal for a total of, what is that?
540.
540, yeah. So that's just a little bit. Plus,
how about spears at max range? Let's find out. Oh my god, almost 1,300 damage on the spear at max range. That's
no, and that's with Void Staff. It's with the magic penetration on those the sorcerers.
Look at those heals! Holy crap!
And it's a 70% attack speed, 60% attack speed increase for 7 seconds.
Can he stop it though? Nope, he cannot, and it will be Dodo 8 with the smite. Pick up the pick up the Baron.
No real contesting there from Cloud9 HyperX Tempest. That was kind of an interesting call because you can, and I guess probably should, go for the more permanent objective. Baron wears off after a while. The gold and the experience don't. But usually teams will opt to push down a mid lane turret or a base turret or an inhibitor instead of going for that Baron. This time around, Team 8 actually said, look, we're already ahead. If we take this Baron, we just straight up get more ahead. We could win fights before, now we're going to win them even more.
Oh boy. So Spear is going to be hitting for a truck ton. He's got another large rod in his inventory. He's going to possibly be looking for a Zanya, so he pick up Deathfire's Grass. That'll be pretty interesting. Down that's an option. He's got blue buff. He's got Baron buff. He's got everything covered. And it looks like they're going to send a push down bot and leave Trolls up top. And Dodo's going to shove out the rest of mid lane, and this tier 2 should go down very easily, unless they get sniped off on the side, because Bishu does do quite a bit of damage with the Void Staff.
And with California Trolls top lane, and with no teleport, this is going to be a good fight for C9T. Now, Guess may be able to ward jump, actually goes for the flash.
He uses ward jump on that ward right there, so they clear it out. So had to use the flash to get away, but either way.
Guess has been doing that a lot this game. He'll overextend and just rely on Lee Sin's mobility to get him out alive. And while that's cool, all it takes is one unplanned stun, and you just get taken out there at 45. And this entire time, California Trolls has been top lane. He's been pushing that in there. is actually now going to push mid lane. So this is less
Ooh!
team. Oh my
What?
god.
That was so close.
Just the tip not hitting there. And so it's nice to see Team 8 able to put the pressure on, get that push down bottom lane, because that's a second tier turret. And that's almost primarily because California Trolls got the push down top lane. Oh, chain onto Slushy.
That Spirit half range and half his HP. All right.
That means at full range it does full HP, right?
Yeah.
Man,
I guess that'd be
well, it doesn't work on Bishu because he has mirror image, so he's not going to take all of that damage. But, you can just see the effectiveness of that Nidalee heal on Maple Street.
Divers connects it on the Kebs, but no real follow-up there.
Divers just a linebacker right now. He's
look at California. He's been doing his own thing. He's kind of just like sitting up there, going all in into Altec. He's going to try to kill, force the flash out. He gets the Zanyas, gets the pool. There's an Ignite drop on a beach. He forces it back away. Kevs is going to go in the back line now. He wants to get bursted down.
Huge.
And there's another pool coming from California. He gets the McHale's. He's
Oh
going to heal back up. Dodo all over the place. Spear connects in on Cleve Globber, who's going to end up falling now as Gesse goes in the back line. He's going to try to escape, and heals.
Oh my gosh, one last turret shot.
Oh, he lives through the dot damage as well. Spear is going to force Bishu back into the turret, and this is going to actually game. There's a stun to come back in onto Lobo Nation. He's going to get ignited and forced back. The turret falls. Bishu tries to come back in. Flash forward comes out.
Slushy flashed offensively.
Here comes the game-ending push, and it's going to go down as teammate 3-0 against Cloud9 HyperX Tempest. Something we thought we wouldn't say, but with their 2-0 advantage, they now escalated to 3, and this is a team we want to see. They're up and coming. They're looking strong. California, someone you really have never heard of, unless you see him in solo queue,
and
is just beasting on these unorthodox tops.
Exactly.
With the Vladimir, the Nidalee, and Malphite.
Exactly. He's just like, let me pick a few top laners you guys may not have seen in a while. Does really well, and with performances like these, Team 8 need to rename themselves to Team 7. 7, 8, 9. Cloud9, HyperX Tempest. So they're down 0-3 right now, but these two teams do face off one more time before the season ends, so we'll be looking towards that game to see if they can bring things back. But for the time being, we're going to be right back after a short commercial break, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with